blended learning models. I will just give you an overview of what a blended learning is and the importance of utilizing it in our classroom or nowadays in our digital classroom. And we are guided by our objectives for today. 1. Define blended learning as a strategy in teaching and identify its types. 2. Discuss how each type can be utilized in the classroom. Ayan, literal na may blender. So, later on, mako-conceptualize natin kung bakit may blender dito sa aking PowerPoint. What do you need to know about blended learning? So, I know every one of you, every one of us heard these blended learning models. Isa-isahin lang natin ulit because this will help each and every teachers in the ELLN at pwede nating magamit ito as we go along with our journey in teaching and learning the ELLN objectives. So let us first define what is blended learning. So it says here, blended learning is a model that combines online and face-to-face learning spaces and experiences. So, blended learning is aligned in the new normal, pero dati na natin ginagamit ang different types of blended learning na ito, lalo na doon sa ating mga naunang ELLN orientation. So, napakalinaw naman sinasabi dito. It combines online and face-to-face learning. Especially at this point in time, gamit na gamit ang blended learning, ang ating online at modular dahil wala naman tayong face-to-face. Okay, next, blended learning or hybrid learning represents a learning model that combines both formal or the traditional classroom and non-formal online courses methodologies. So, ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng hybrid learning? Hybrid learning is an educational model where some students attend class in person. Ito yung face-to-face. While others join the class virtually from home or yung iba naman o online. So, educators teach remote in a person or students at the same time using tools like video conferencing hardware and software. So, ang blended learning na ito ay tinatawag ding hybrid learning. Kumbaga, imported ang dating. Pero, sabi ko nga kanina, ginagamit na rin natin ang ibang types of blended learning na ito. So, mas lalong ma-emphasize ang gamit ng mga ito as we go along with our discussion on the components of this learning. So, in simplest form, or in simplest term, blended learning means a mixture of various learning styles, modalities, types, and many more. So, it is a pedagogical shift from traditional classroom learning. So, let's take a look at this presentation. Blended learning is a combination of classroom learning and online learning. So, as I've said, blended learning is a pedagogical shift from traditional classroom learning wherein teaching focuses on lectures, case studies, projects, and so forth. Learning is conducted in synchronous environment, meaning that the student must be in the same place at the same time in order to learn. So, in blended learning naman, it is today's classroom blends traditional method of instruction with digital instruction for a variety of learning possibilities. Napakaganda, di po ba? Napakaraming learning possibilities outside the classroom. Kung noon ay nasa four corners of the room lang tayo, more on teacher-led instructions kasi may face-to-face pa, and more on printed instruction lang ang ating mga binibigay like traditional study materials katulad ng mga books. Ngayon, dahil walang face-to-face, lalabas tayo sa ating mga classroom at this is the best opportunity, the best time na i-blend natin ang ating mga computer-mediated instructions sa ating traditional way of teaching para lang magkaroon ng variety of learnings ang ating mga estudyante. I-blend natin ang ating mga computer-mediated instructions like digital lessons, digital materials or instructions na digitize, mga e-learning materials, maging ang ating mga assessment or feedbacks, reflections, and outcomes ay web-based para lang magkaroon ng variety ang learnings ng ating mga estudyante para sila ay maging productive at magkaroon ng 90% kung di man 100% retention sa topic na ating itinuturo. And according to Alex Hernandez, blended instruction combines the best empowering technology and human touch so we can help each student learn more than ever before. So as I've said, ginagawa naman na natin ito. Mas lalo nating i-emphasize ang gamit ng mga ito ngayon as we go along our journey in teaching and learning the ELLN objectives. Ayan, alin sa dalawang scenario na ito ang nagpapakita ng blended learning? Okay, tama kayo doon. So, sa scenario letter A, ito yung ating tinatawag na traditional teaching and learning, where learning is conducted in synchronous environment, meaning nga the students must be in the same place at the same time in order to learn. While in learning scenario letter B, ito na yung blending ng traditional method of instruction with digital method of instruction. Kumbaga, meron ng variety of learning possibilities outside the classroom. Let's now move on to the 12 of the most common types of blended learning. So, yan yung mga identified types of blended learning. So, meron tayong outside-in, supplemental, in or out, inside-out, mastery-based, flip, remote, project-based, self-directed, individual rotation, station rotation, lab rotation, flex. So, ang dami. Blended learning or the merging of physical and digital learning spaces to complement one another to personalize the learning of all students based on the authentic human circumstance and prevailing local technology. What is station rotation? So this is a model that allows students to rotate through stations on a fixed schedule where at least one of the stations is an online learning station. So this model is the most common in elementary schools because teachers are already familiar with rotating in centers and stations. Ito nga ay familiar na sa atin dahil dati na natin ginagawa at alam na ng mga ELLN teachers. So, ang challenge lang dito ay paano natin ito ginagawa online. Of course, face-to-face, madali lang kasi guided ito by the instruction. Madali lang sabihin pumunta sa bawat station, sa unang station, ano ang dapat gawin bago mag-move sa second station. The instruction is very clear when we give the station rotation, kung paano sila mag-move from the first station up to the last station. So, dito, this time, sa blended, ganito ang magiging sample na setup ng rotation station. Yan. So, sa unang station, computer-based instructions. So, magbibigay tayo dyan ng specific na instruction bago sila mag-move dito sa second station or yung teacher-led instruction. So, after nila dun sa first station, example sa first station ay kasi computer-based instruction, pwedeng magbigay ng example na manood ng mga video lesson. Tapos after manood ng video lesson, magkakaroon ngayon ng teacher-led instruction. So after dito sa teacher-led instruction, magpuproceed sa another station na magkakaroon naman ngayon ng collaborative activities. So ang sabi dito, the teacher organizes students into group within the classroom where at least one station is computer-based or learning experience. So, tayo na mga teachers ang mag-iisip kung paano natin ito gagawin. This group can be fixed or remain the same each day or grouped by learning styles or dynamic change depending on the student's skills. So, ganun naman po tayo, di po ba? May purpose tayo kung bakit natin ginugroup ang ating mga learners. Pinagsasama-sama natin yung pare-parehas ang interest, pwedeng magkakaparehas ang learning style nila. So, depende sa atin kung paano natin ito gagawin. And we can also introduce the students in the 21st century technology skills they use in a small chunks of time. So, the possibilities are endless, which can be a bit overwhelming. So, let's just get very specific in giving instructions dito sa station rotation para ma-make sure natin na in every station ay may learning ang ating mga estudyante. Next is lab rotation. The lab rotation model of blended learning is similar to station rotation. Works by allowing students to rotate through stations on a fixed schedule in a dedicated computer lab, allowing for flexible scheduling arrangements with teachers and enabling schools to make use of existing computer labs. Kapag sa face-to-face kasi, medyo madali-dali nating isagawa kasi we are using the computer laboratory. So, sa atin naman ngayon, alam naman natin na may mga gadgets sa mga estudyante natin. So, kailangan na lang nating magplano kung paano natin gagawin itong lab rotation. Pwede nating ilagay sa ating mga classroom o Google Classroom ang schedule at mga activities wherein pwede silang magkaroon ng observations at experimentations upang ang ating mga estudyante ay maging creative na rin. Next ay ang remote enriched virtual. Remote blended learning, also referred to as enriched virtual. In enriched virtual blended learning, the student's focus is on completing online coursework while only meeting with the teacher intermittently as needed. So, hindi lagi nakaharap ang mga teachers pag enriched virtual o yung mga nasa remote learning. Magbibigay lang tayo ng mga instructions, but if the students need our help, doon na po tayo pumapasok. In this type of model, students complete a majority of their coursework online and then meet with the teachers for certain session. This approach differs from the flipped classroom model in the balance of online to face-to-face instructional time. In an enriched virtual blended learning model, students wouldn't see or work with learning from a teacher on a daily basis face-to-face but would in a flipped settings. So, kagaya po ng sa modular natin, modular print and modular digital asynchronous learning. nagbibigay tayo ng modules sa modular, ganun din sa online. At babasahin nila ang modules na ito, pag-aaralan, guided with the instruction. At tatapusin nila within a certain period of time. At kapag may mga tanong na hindi naintindihan, at pag may tanong at mga hindi naintindihan, saka pumapasok si teacher. At dahil hindi muna pwede ang face-to-face, ang only means of communication natin ay sa ating mga GC or sa ating mga FB, Messenger para ma-monitor, mabigyan ng instructions at maging ng discussions ang ating mga estudyante. So, dito, ito naman ay may mga interval ang mga activities na gagawin when we speak of remote or enriched learning. So, pagbigay ng module, babasahin nila, pag-aaralan, gagawin ng activities, saka nila isasubmit ang kanilang output kay teacher. So, more on, nasa bahay lang sila nag-aaral at tinatapos yung kanilang activities sa module. So, dapat talaga ang ibibigay nating mga modules ay self-learning module. And they will only meet with the teacher as needed. So, bawal ang face-to-face. So, they will call or communicate with the teacher as needed. Yun yung mga time na hindi na talaga nila maintindihan o alam, hindi na nila malaman kung paano ang gagawin doon sa kanilang modules. Next ay ang Flex Blended Learning. So, a course or subject in which online learning is the backbone of student learning, even if it directs students to offline activities at times. Students move on an individually customized fluid schedule among learning modalities. So, pag sinabi nating fluid schedules, hindi yan strict schedules. Pwedeng mamaya na or mag-move ng oras na available ang mga students natin. The teacher of record is on-site and students learn most of the brick-and-mortar campus except for any homework assignments. The teacher of record or other adult provided face-to-face support on a flexible and adapted as needed basis through activities such as small group instruction, group projects, and individual monitoring. So, ang mga learning materials nito and instructions are given online and lessons are self-guided. So, ginagawa na rin natin ito kagaya ng sa modular. Self-guided lahat. Lahat ng instructions ay nandun. How do our learners go along with the activities na nakasulat doon sa modules. So, dapat lang talaga ay well-instructed para masundan ng mga learners natin, pati na rin ng mga parents ng mga learners natin, ang lesson na ating binibigay sa kanila. Okay, next is flipped classroom blended learning. Perhaps the most widely known version of blended learning. A flipped classroom is one where students are introduced to content at home and practice working through it at school supported by a teacher and or peers. In this way, traditional roles of each space are flipped. So, parang similar siya sa remote blended learning wherein most of the time nasa bahay sila nag-aaral and then they will only have some time to meet their teachers as needed. So, this model reverses the typical lecture and homework. Ibig sabihin, dito sa flipped classroom na to, ang ginagawa nilang classroom ngayon ay yung bahay. Tapos, doon sila mag-aaral, doon ibibigay ang lecture, ang homework, doon nila pag-aaralan. And then, pagdating ng kanilang class time, yung class time na nila, i-devote na lang nila yung kanilang class time to an active learning discussion. So, parang ganyan si Flip Classroom Blended Learning. This model reverses the typical lecture and homework. Example, students view short video lecture or other multimedia content asynchronously before the class session. Then, ang class time nila is devoted to active learning such as discussions or project-based assignments na traditionally nagli-lecture muna si teacher before giving assignments. So that is why it is called flipped classroom. So tingnan natin ito. Traditional classroom versus flipped classroom. So old versus new. So after class and office hours. So old, before the flip, students attempt the homework usually with delayed feedback. Sa new, students continue applying their knowledge skills after clarification and feedback. So next is instructor grades pass work. Sa new, instructor posts any additional explanations and resources as necessary and grades higher quality work. Students want confirmation about what to study. Dito naman, students are equipped to seek help where they know they need it. Instructor often repeats what was in lecture. Sa new, instructor continues guiding students towards deeper understanding. So, very interactive and dynamic. Learning environment where the educator guides the students as they apply concepts and engage creatively in their subject matter. So, very independent naman ang flip na to. Very independent ang flip classroom na to. Pero nandyan pa rin ang support natin as teachers whenever they need or whenever they ask questions in a certain activity set for the day. Why should use flip classroom? Here are some mentioned advantages. Number 1, each student studies the lesson at their own pace without the fear of getting lost during the teacher's explanation. So, ganun tayo, di ba? Kasi, because of individual differences, may mga mabibilis ang pick up, tapos may nabe-behind. So, dito sa flip, wala na silang fear of getting lost during the teacher's explanation. 2 is, online access or lessons and exercises allowing students to study anytime and anywhere. So, sabi ko nga kanina, very independent ang atake ng ating flip classroom. Basta well-instructed lang, more on hands-on activity and engaging activity po ito, and at the same time, makes it easier for the learners to do research. Next is individual rotation. This allows students to rotate through stations but on individual schedules set by a teacher or software algorithm. Unlike other rotation models, students do not necessarily rotate to every station. They rotate only to the activities scheduled on their playlist. Individual rotation is a good choice when you have enough instructional devices to use and you want to use those devices to plan for personalized instruction to every student. Dito papasok ang ating mga individualized instruction. Paano tayo magpa-plan ng ating mga personalized instruction? Ano muna ang dapat ginagawa ni teacher? So una, dapat ma-identify muna natin ang mga needs ng bawat learners. Paano natin i-identify? Dito naman papasok ang ating mga tools and assessments na ginagamit para ma-identify ang kanilang needs katulad ng diagnostic test. Diba po, ginagamit natin diagnostic test para mag-gauge muna natin kung hanggang saan yung level ng nalalaman na ng mga bata tungkol doon sa subject na ituturo natin. So, yun muna ang unang step para mabigyan natin sila ng justice kung ano ang pwede nating ibigay na activity according to their needs. Yun ang pinakamagandang gawin bago natin sila bigyan ng certain activities, bago magkaroon ng individualized activities. And of course, kung wala kasi tayong data, paano natin gagawin yon? Kagaya nga ng sinasabi ko, data-driven ito. Lahat ng ito ay, if you are using individualized instruction, dapat alam natin ang dapat ibigay kay Juan at ang dapat ibigay kay Pedro. With the right tools, the individual teachers can manage these decisions. And those data na nag-gather natin ngayon ang magsasabi kung what particular activity should be given to a particular student. At itong playlist na ito na sinasabi dito ay ang mga nakalinyang activity na pwede nating ibigay sa ating mga estudyante. Next is project-based. It's a model in which the student uses both online learning, either in the form of courses or self-directed access, and face-to-face instruction and collaboration to design, iterate, and publish project-based learning assignments, products, and related artifacts. So, ito ay ginagawa na rin natin, lalo na ng face-to-face. So, ang challenge dito ngayon ay kung paano natin gagawin ngayon yung normal. So, kung nagbibigay tayo ng mga project-based instruction sa ating mga estudyante, di po ba meron naman tayong mga Google Drive, mga Google Classroom, o kaya Google Sheets. Meron tayong mga grupo kung saan doon nila ipinopost yung work nila o yung project nila para mas madaling makita ng ating mga estudyante at ng ating mga guro. So, project-based learning is a teaching method in which students gain knowledge and skills by working for an extended period of time to investigate and respond to an authentic, engaging, and complex question, problem, or challenge. So, ito naman talaga ang importante, yung authentic, makatotohanan na mga project that will enhance their understanding about the concept and the skills they will need to develop. Mag-provide tayo sa ating mga estudyante ng mga real work task. Bigyan lang natin sila ng malinaw na instruction, ng mga resources para they can solve or complete the task, and the freedom to do the task in their own pace or with their own resources. So, pag nabigay natin yon, yung mga nabigay natin sila ng malinaw na instruction at pati mga resources, so kanya-kanya na silang gawa, sabay-sabay na nila itong gagawin. Ang importante lang dito ay authentic, makatotohanan, at mag-e-enhance ng kanilang mga knowledge and understanding. Ano naman itong self-directed blended learning? So, as the term suggests, in self-directed blended learning, students use a combination of online and face-to-face learning to guide their own personalized inquiry, achieve formal learning goals, connect with mentors physically and digitally, and as the learner is self-directed, the role of the online learning and physical teachers change, and there are no formal online courses to complete. So, syempre, si teacher ang nakakaalam ng mga activity na dapat ipagawa sa mga learner. So, in here, the students are provided a series of learning guides or online materials outlining what is to be learned and how to go about learning it, and yung mga needs to be done bago nila bago nila ito ma-complete before progressing. This is similar to project-based. Ang mahalaga dito ay mabigyan natin sila ng malinaw at maayos na instruction, paano ang gagawin nila dito, ano ang gagawin nila sa materials na ito, i-provide na rin natin yung mga learning guides, at paano sila magpo-progress dito. So, students learn in their own pace, working with their learning guides and monitored by the teachers. So, sa ngayon wala nang imposible, lalo na po sa online. Basta malakas ang internet at malakas tayong lahat, napakadali na ma-monitor ang mga ito. So, ano nga ba ang benefits na makukuha natin sa self-directed learning? So, students feel empowered to take responsibility and ownership of their own learning, which contribute to greater motivation. So, yun. So, di ba po, napakaganda na kasi tayong mga teacher, pag nakikita natin na very independent ang ating mga learners, nagagawa nila ang kanilang mga gawain, ang kanilang mga projects, ang kanilang assignments on their own, at nakikita natin na natututo talaga ang mga estudyante na yan, ito ay isa ng consolation at napakasarap sa pakiramdam na natututo sila at ipinapakita nila na ma-master nila at naiintindihan nila ang mga activities na ibinibigay natin. Next is Inside Out. In Inside Out blended learning, experiences are planned to finish or end up beyond the physical classroom but still required and benefit from the unique advantages of both physical and digital spaces. In both the outside-in and inside-out models, the nature of the online learning is less critical than the focus on platforms, spaces, people, and opportunity beyond the school walls. So, to make it very simple, students learn inside the classroom and finishes their work outside. So, tama naman po ito na ang learning natin ay hindi lang beyond school wall. Marami tayong pwedeng pagkuhanan ng learning. Malawak na rin ang ating pagbibigay ng learning. Nakakakuha rin tayo sa iba't ibang environment through the application. Yan. So, hindi lang sa classroom tayo nakakakuha ng learning. Next is outside-in. So, outside-in. Kabaliktaran naman ito. In outside-in blended learning, experiences are planned to start in the non-academic physical and digital environment students use on a daily basis but finish inside a classroom. So, this could mean traditional letter grades and assessment forms or less traditional teaching and learning that simply uses the classroom as a closed-circuit publishing platform, a safe space to give and receive feedback that grows students' work. So, outside-in naman ay start from home but finish their work inside the classroom. So, napagpapalit-palit na pwede naman pagpalit-palitin. So, classroom, home, or home to classroom. So, this primarily characterized by the students' movement between digital and physical spaces and potential authenticity of students' work. So, okay po. Next is supplemental. Supplemental, in this model, students complete either entirely online work to supplement their day-to-day face-to-face learning or entirely face-to-face learning experiences to supplement the learning gained in online courses and activities. So, dito meron pa tayong mga additional enhancement para sa mga learners natin, para sa mga mabibilis gumawa at ganun din sa mga identified learners natin na very low naman. Meron din tayong mga intervention na ibinibigay. So, yung mga supplemental na ito ay base sa identification ng performance ng ating mga estudyante. The big idea here is supplementing critical learning objectives are met entirely in one space, while the opposite space provides the student with specific supplementing experiences that the other did not or could not provide. So, may mga cases din kasi na gusto pang i-widen ng mga estudyante natin ang kanilang horizon tungkol sa activity na yun. So, they will be seeking for for certain supplementals. Ito yung mga worksheets or yung mga books na pwede nilang basahin. Or pwede silang mag-research sa internet upang madagdagan ang learning na ibibigay natin sa kanila. So, sa part ng teacher, maaari pa tayong mag-provide ng supplemental activities para madagdagan pa ang learning nila. At sa mga estudyante naman, pwede silang mag-research para madagdagan din ang kanilang kaalaman doon sa certain topic na ibinibigay natin. Mastery base. So, students rotate between online and face-to-face learning, activities assessment, projects based on the completion of mastery-based learning activities. So, ang sinasabi natin sa mastery-based learning po na ito ay isang instructional approach where students need to demonstrate a deep level of understanding of a topic or a subject area before progressing onto another topic or subject area. So, how can we determine the mastery of our students? Anong mga tool or measurements ang ginagamit in order for us to determine the mastery level of our students? So, kagaya natin sa reading. So, paano natin nalalaman kung ang isang bata ay yung isang bata na nasa frustration, napunta na sa instructional at napunta na sa independent. So, of course, we are using measurements and the tool at ito yung mga tool na pinaka-importanteng ginagamit natin, yung ating PhilErie. Di po ba? Yun yung pinaka-importanteng gauge natin in order for each and every teacher determine the mastery level of our learners when it comes to reading. So, assessment design is crucial in any mastery-based learning experience. The ability to use face-to-face and digital assessment tools is either powerful or complicated depending on the mindset of the learning designers. Pero ngayon, 24/7, ang mga bata sa bahay, hindi natin matiyak kung sino ang sumasagot. So, kaya how sure we are na namamaster ng mga bata ang lesson. So, yun naman yung mga na-raise na question dati pa. Pero naniniwala tayo na tayong mga teachers, we have our unique ways on how to determine the mastery level of our students. Marami tayong pwedeng gawin, mga approaches na pwedeng i-apply so that we can really determine our students' mastery level. Ito na po ang mga benefits na enumerated sa blended learning. So, one, it's cost efficient. So, with blended learning, you can improve training costs and return of investment. So, naliless na yung training costs. Pag may training tayo, may venue. Siyempre, nagbabayad tayo ng venue. Pag may training tayo, meron tayong snacks, may lunch, may ganyan, di ba? Naliles na. And forget about missing courses. So, hindi na rin tayo mag-worry pag hindi tayo naka-attend. Kasi, lalo na sa blended learning, mga trainings or webinars ngayon, recorded, pwede nating balikan, pwede nating ulit-ulitin, di ba? Traveling costs or taking time off for certain trainings. So, less na rin tayo sa traveling costs. You can easily combine classroom trainings with pre-registered courses. You can also organize a live training online so your learners will be up to date with everything. So next is be consistent in activities. Everybody can be on the same page before even starting the in-class training. Send them reading materials, videos, and pre-course questionnaires so they can come prepared. What else? Access the content from anywhere, anytime, or on any device. So your learners can be constantly connected to your content. They can even download courses so they can access them without internet access if necessary. So when it comes naman to our blended learning, online learning, pag gumawa tayo ng ating mga e-learning devices, e-learning materials, pwede nating i-record, i-save sa Google Classroom, i-save sa Google Drive, or i-upload sa mga social sites like sa YouTube or sa Facebook Live. Pwedeng ma-access to ng ating mga learners anywhere, anytime, and on any devices. Pwede din nilang i-download para kapag walang internet, ma-access pa rin nila to pag downloaded na sa kanilang mga devices. What else? Increase user engagement easily. The combination of multimedia and instructional designing makes the perfect recipe for a rich learning experience. So what's most important? Learners can go back to the courses whenever they want to so they can deliver great results over time. So, yan, pwede nilang balik-balikan yung lesson, pwede nilang ulit-ulitin, and yun, pag inulit-ulit nila yung lesson, doon na pumapasok yung mastery. Get insightful reports about your learners. So, analyze the activity of your learners and see where they are excelling and where they are struggling. So, this way, you can optimize the content accordingly. So, kapag nakita natin na nag-excel sila sa binibigay natin, na nakakapag-isip din tayo ng adjustment para magbigay pa ulit tayo ng mga activities na pang-enrich ng kanilang kaalaman. The same way, kapag na-assess din natin na meron namang nag-struggle doon sa binigay nating activity, pwede nating babaan ang level. Pwede nating bigyan sila ng intervention naman or ng remediation. Okay, ELLN Digital, a blended course on early language literacy and numeracy instruction for kindergarten to grade 3 teachers in the Philippines. The course is a teacher professional development initiative in the support of the Department of the Education's Early Language Literacy and Numeracy program under the Every Child a Reader program. And makikita natin ang resources na ito dito sa link na to. So, paki-screenshot na rin para kung gusto nyong balikan yung lesson na to or gusto nyo pang tignan kung ano yung mga sakop ng lesson na to, dito nyo makikita sa link na to. And bago ako mag-end sa aking discussion, I would like to give this brainy quotation. A great man is always willing to be little. And with that, thank you for listening and have a nice day.